I was asked on one of my video in the comment if I would make a video explaining Alexander's diagnosis. So I'm going to do the best that I can. This is, again, YouTubing is not really something that I do all the time. So welcome to Alexander's World on YouTube. Right, Alex? That's you as a baby. Look at you. Look how little you were. This was me on the day that I gave birth to Alexander, on December 30th, 2012. Alex was a miracle baby. I was never supposed to have children. I didn't even know I was pregnant for about a month and a half, 2 months.
What's that one?
That's my gown, and this is where they were monitoring your heartbeat and all that. And
That me?
yeah, my belly. You're my belly.
Oh, yeah.
So the day that I had no really big complications during my pregnancy. I had to be giving 2 steroid shots because when I was 5.5 months pregnant, my water started to leak and I was 3 centimeters open. So they began to give me steroid shots so that Alexander's lungs, which were underdeveloped, would become stronger if he were to be given birth early. Alexander's due date was February 5th, 2013. And I had him on December 30th, 2012. When Alexander came out on the day of me giving birth, they couldn't find his heartbeat. So they had to stick a needle that had a wire, 2 needles, 2 wires, into the top of his head, in his skull. Because the machine that they put on you to monitor the heartbeat was not picking up his heartbeat. We did not know that Alexander's umbilical cord was tightly wrapped twice around his neck. And it took 24 hours for me to get 10 centimeters open.
Mommy, put my gun on me.
In a minute, baby, okay?
Why did the computer have me?
When I pushed Alexander out, they cut me. Alexander did not split me. They cut me twice because they were trying to get him out. He wasn't breathing. Alexander was born basically, technically, medically as a stillborn. Alexander was not breathing when he was born. He was a gray, pale, blue type. Like he wasn't a baby. He was limp. He wasn't crying, breathing, nothing. I had 2 teams of doctors at Einstein Hospital. Thank you, Jesus, for these doctors. I will always be so grateful for them. Once they got Alexander out of me, and they cut the cord from around his neck, they automatically passed him very quickly to the NICU doctor. NICU doctor and nurses began to work on my son. I'm going to say maybe like 5 minutes later, I heard a very faint cry. Once I heard that faint cry, it was like I could not feel joy yet because I didn't know if my child will continue to breathe and, continue to live. Excuse me. So they rushed him. I didn't get to hold him. They rushed him to the NICU. They had him on oxygen. They put feeding tube, machines on him. I mean, I didn't see my baby till later on that night because they wanted me to rest, but no, I wanted to see my baby. At least wanted to see him. I lost a lot of blood during my delivery. So as I made my way down to the NICU, I was dizzy, but I was very determined. Like, I never thought I could be a mom. So he was my miracle. When I got there, he was this tiny little 3-pound baby. He was just, my arm is very short. I have like T-Rex arm. So, because I'm a short person. So when I held him, his head fit perfectly in my hand. And his legs came up to my elbow. You can see a little in these pictures. I mean, he looks bigger in the pictures, but he really wasn't. He was so tiny. premature clothing did not fit my son. So he had a lot of complications. He ended up getting jaundice twice. So they had to keep him. They kept him for 10 days. When he started bottle feeding, that's when they decided he can come home because he can be bottle fed. I was not producing enough milk. I always wanted to breastfeed, but I was not producing enough milk. So I gave him the little bit of milk that came out, and then I also gave him formula. Alexander, within the first week of being home, stopped breathing on me twice. The first time was after a feed, and I thought my baby was choking. So at that time, I was staying with my mother. I was a new mom. Didn't know what I was doing. I've been around babies before, but he was so tiny, and I was afraid. So I stayed with my mom, and I ran to her room, which was across from mine. And my mother, I freaked out. Like, I blanked out. My mom was like, what the hell happened? You know, why isn't he breathing? Like, he was like just limp. So I called 911, and while 911 was on speaker, my mom began to perform CPR on my basically 2-week-old baby, 2.5-week-old baby. Ambulance came. My mom, thank God, she worked diligently, got him to breathe again. They still rushed him to the Children's Hospital in my city, and they began to monitor him. They told me it was acid reflux, but they were treating him for his lungs, which made no sense to me. So we went back home after a 4-day stay. We went back home. 2 days later, my son stopped breathing again. My son would basically live in and out of this children's hospital for most of the first year of his life. Due to his breathing in his lungs and the gasping and stopping to breathe and his heartbeat not regulating because it was speeding, and it was just so much. And they gave me a asthma machine, but kept telling me it was acid reflux. Till one day I refused to leave the hospital. He was about 4 months at this time. I refused to leave the hospital. I said, you're going to have to call security, the police, anybody you want, because I'm not going anywhere until you tell me what's going on with my child or diagnose him with something, because you're treating him for asthma and telling me it's acid reflux. And this is bull. So a head doctor, like the doctor that oversees the chief doctor, I don't know what they're called, came in and spoke to me, and I spoke to him, and I'm letting him know what's going on. And he finally was like, okay, yeah, we need to diagnose this child. He has asthma. And that's when I got all the medication that I needed. So the hospital stays, we still stayed, but they were less frequent. He would go in when the treatments at home did not work, and I couldn't get his asthma down or regulate his heartbeat or anything like that. That's when I would bring him in. My son was very susceptible to getting croup a lot. Again, when he was 6 months, that's when I started suspecting that Alexander that there was something wrong. Like, there was something abnormal. He would pull his hair. He would cry. He would bang his head. I mean, it was so much going on. But I thought maybe because he's frustrated, he's hungry, something's going on, he's in pain. I didn't know. And I just felt like, okay, maybe it's just a 6-month-old thing. Maybe he's teething. It's the day he was born. This is Alexander in different stages of his life. Alex, I became to suspect that he had very serious issues as he grew older. He was not talking the way he should have been talking. He was baby talking, pointing. He couldn't say basic words. He would barricade himself with my furniture, blankets, pillows, whatever he could find, toys. He would line his toys up, bang his head continuously, lick walls, cars, people. He started eating non-edible foods as far as drywall, rocks, dirt, even cat litter, poop, cats, and his. I didn't know what to do. I've never dealt with this. I thought maybe him just being a boy. Until I started Googling his actions, his behavior. Autism kept popping up. And I finally, at first I was in denial. Like, no, my child can't be autistic. No way. No. This is bull. So I just kept Googling, looking up autism, reading on it. Until I accepted it. I said, okay, he might be. Now what? What do we do? He started getting services from ChildLink at 3 years old. At 2 years old. He maxed out at 3 because they go from newborn to 3. And then I got into Elwing. ChildLink told me that he has autism. He may have autism. That I should get him diagnosed. I again denied it. Like, no. Just, give him therapy. Until I got into Elwing. It's a therapeutic program for children. They told me I should get him diagnosed. And I did. And sure enough, from 2 different psychiatrists, 2 different therapy places, and the autism center, my son was diagnosed on the spectrum, among other things. Alex was diagnosed with autism, speech delay, developmental delay, speech pronunciation issues, oppositional disorder, ADHD, ADD. He was it was a relief to get an answer. It was a relief to finally have people tell me this and this and this is what's going on. To get a label to what was going on with my child, I can look that up. I can read on it. I can study it. Now we can get the help and the resources that he needs for these things. And I was like a lioness on a mission. I already had even the people at the autism center were like, we can't do anything. You're doing everything that we usually tell parents to do. Just continue to do what you're doing. I've always fought for my child. I've always been his advocate, and I will continue to be so until the day that I'm not here anymore. Alexander, at one point I was a foster parent and I had to stop fostering because at 2 years old, Alexander started exhibiting very aggressive behavior. He's always been aggressive and violent, but it became very, very intense. He would beat on the child, drag her by her hair, punch her, hit her with toys in her face. And these are all things that I'm responsible for. I have to report all these incidents, and my son will get consequences. Don't think because he's autistic, my son doesn't get he does. I try to treat him as any other child. Yes, he has his limits, but he will get consequences for bad behavior. And I've always been that way. And he was treated no special than any child that I had in my house. It got to the point where I had to give the child up back to the state, and it hurt. He has punched me to the point that I had a black eye, busted lip, scratches. And his therapists were even trying to call the police on my husband, thinking my husband was beating on me. Until one day they saw Alex's aggression themselves. We were sitting on the floor. I told him to pick up a toy. He said no. I said, pick it up or I'm going to throw it away. And he was 2. And the way he said no was, So that was no. I understood him. And he got mad and really red in the face and toy, threw it, came running towards me, grabbed my hair. And I'm trying to like block him because I already know he's going to hit me. I don't like to hit my child. I don't hit my child. I try to, discipline him. I don't have a problem with people disciplining a child the way you discipline your child. But aggression meets aggression. So, begets aggression or something like that. Alex began to punch. He's 2 years old. Began uppercutting me in my face while he had my hair in his hands. His therapist was there. His therapist's eyes were so big. She was in shock. We finally got him off of me and my lip was bleeding. And I looked at her and I said, "You still think it's my husband?" I said, "This is my child beating on me." And that's when his behavior therapies began. His aggression has gone down. Back then, he would be aggressive with children older than him, younger than him. It didn't matter. He hit anybody. He almost threw my neighbor's 8-year-old daughter when he was 2 off the porch. Good thing she was there to catch her. He punched her in the stomach. He has, he's done a lot. But he has overcome a lot. And he has gotten better, way better. He still shows some aggression and violence, but not as consistent, not as intense. Alex is now going to be 7 in December 30th this year.
When I was a baby, Dad, I made you lip bleed?
Yeah. Give mommy a black eye, too.
Oh, my God.
I know.
I didn't know that.
No, you were a baby. You were little. So, as Alex gets older, he gets bigger and taller. I am 4'9". Alex is going to be taller than me by the time he's 10. You can see him over there. He is going to overpower me at some point. And I know that. And I fight every day to get him to where he has to be, where it won't be as, how can I say, violent and aggressive. Excuse me. As it was before.
Hello.
Say hi, baby.
There's a game I'm playing.
Yeah.
I turned the wire, I looked at the camera.
Uh-huh.
But I opened my lips a little bit.
They don't see. Can you pull up on for me? Thank you. So, yes, as you see, my son is a big 6-year-old, soon to be 7. Yes, he is still on pull-ups. And the reason is it's not lazy parenting. It's not a lazy child. Alex has a phobia with the potty. At one point, we couldn't bathe him in the pot. We couldn't bathe him without covering the potty with a blanket. We couldn't use the bathroom without him freaking out. In his preschool, they couldn't change his pull-up and diapers in the preschool. They had to change them in the corner of the classroom, like where they read on the rug, and move the children away, give him some privacy. And it has been, now he can bathe without us covering the toilet. We can use the bathroom without him freaking out. He even has a commode that he pees in. But he does not poop in the potty. And that is where we're trying to get to and overcome that hurdle with him. And we have tried many things. Videos, rewards, bribery. We've tried so many things. Potty parties, potty games, different seats, footstools, giving him the phone, giving him the tablet, sitting there singing to him, talking to him, keeping him company. We've tried everything, and nothing. So it's fine. We've got him to sit on the potty. Now we just got to get him to poop in the potty. So please, no judgments about my son using a pull-up. If you're not a mother of a special needs child or have a special needs child in your family, you will never understand the obstacles and hurdles that they have to go through to even do one little accomplishment that seems so trivial to some. Everything is an achievement for us. Alex learning to read, which he doesn't know how to read. That would be the biggest, oh my God. You know, Alex writing his name was amazing. We celebrated that. Alex speaking his first words, we celebrated that. You know, Alex peeing on the potty. Alex telling us he pooped, we celebrated that. It's little things that we celebrate that seems like, why are you guys going so extreme? Because people that are not in our position will never understand that feeling of not ever thinking that your child will never speak. Your child will never function as an adult. He will, you know, this world is so ugly. Like, what do? We were so afraid. And with diligence and hard work and his therapy and his team, basically, he has a team of doctors and therapists. He's come so far. And we are just so very proud of him. So very proud.
I'm trying to make a lip.
So, it's okay, baby.
And because I can't control all the babies.
Listen, I forgive you. It's
Babies
okay.
know. Babies don't know what to do.
But now we don't hit mommy, right?
Yeah.
We don't hit mommy. We don't hit daddy, right?
Yeah, sometimes sometimes when I get mad.
You choke me.
Yeah.
You scratch me.
Because you know what happens.
But you know what? What happens? Tell me when you get angry.
That means like he's out some shows. He's like one of those things. And those they'll tell you those are sad ones. People can't get nailed on when he's sad.
I'm going to do another video, you guys, of Alexander speaking. So you guys can get to know him. Again, I know this video is super long and I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. I don't know how to edit or, but this is a request of explaining his thing. I will try to do more videos of Alex's life, as well as reviews as much as possible. I thank everyone for viewing the videos. Know that if you have a child with special needs, whether he's on the autism spectrum or Down syndrome or a physical disability, you are not alone. You are doing the very best that you can do with the cards that you were giving. And your child is perfect the way they are. And you fight and you be their voice. And if you suspect something is off or, something is going on, voice it. Fight. Keep fighting. Be determined. And, just celebrate every little thing that happens. Every obstacle they overcome. And enjoy every minute. And it's going to be frustrating. Oh my God, it's going to get frustrating. You're going to feel overwhelmed. You're going to cry. You're going to yell. You're going to feel like you're losing your mind. But you are not alone. You really are not. And I would say try to find a group online on Facebook or Instagram or in your community, where there are people dealing with similar situations as you, and surround yourself with them. Because on the days that you feel like giving up and walking away and throwing in the towel, they will encourage you.